What do you call a girl wearing camouflage?
I don't know.
Heidi.
One of those nights.
Yeah, that's a good joke.
All right.
Hello. Welcome. Falboyz, the podcast, episode 12.
12.
We just talked about how prepared we should be, and this is not it.
So I think that
Falboyz, the podcast, number one
I think
in
that's a great
Spotify.
start.
Yeah.
To what we're going to talk about today.
Yeah.
For a small portion. I feel like we're going to break this up into a little bit of portions of a little bit of things of just recapping the last couple weeks of our life.
Falboyz, the podcast, the life update.
But one of the things that was suggested for us to talk about 35 seconds before we hit record was how important it is to be prepared. And that when we are prepared, things go really smoothly. And when we're not prepared, they're usually a little rough. I think in our experience, it's always just been good enough.
Yeah, I don't know. Are we ever good? I don't know.
I think
To be determined.
I think we over prepare.
Sure.
Or we'll prepare one aspect really well, but not the other. So in my head, I'm thinking like SFC. We prepare the functionality of the setup and the room and the equipment. We did that seamlessly this year, especially in comparison to last year.
Yeah.
But last year we had a really good layout of the flow of the event. Yeah. And
because we were super nervous.
Yeah, and we over prepared
Yeah.
the equipment and under prepared and then we over prepared everything last year. This year we seamlessly prepared the equipment. Everything went super smooth, but we didn't prepare enough of the outline.
Yeah.
So, with Tubb saying, talk about getting ready for stream. It's funny because he's starting a stream. He's standing up. He's doing a bunch of things because he wasn't prepared.
He's not updating this.
But he's live already. Like, he's already live. But he's, like, standing and walking around getting stuff and doing whatever. And sometimes that happens. It's just a part of life. As we're going to get into it over this last week, we were super busy and not around. We didn't really prepare for this episode of the podcast, but we're still going with it. Why? Because it's just a part of life.
So that's the thing. Like, is it better to be on and have this continual start time or release date? Or is it better to wait, be on at different times and be prepared those times, or just go on unprepared and kind of muddle your way through the beginning?
I think for me, I think it's okay to kind of, muddle away a little bit in the beginning to keep the consistency of putting your content out there. And I mean, even for us, we haven't grown or blown up in any way, but
not yet.
We have a solid increase, and it's a consistent of like the 1 or 2 followers.
Yeah, we don't have that one thing that made us blow up. Exactly.
But we're there. We're just being there. We're being ourselves. And I think, especially for people like us who get really busy with life, who have a bunch of stuff planned, like I think of the month of April all the way to like the end of July for us, it's pretty nonstop with stuff that's happening. I mean, the rest of this month is nonstop. So I think making sure we're still at least setting the time to put the content out there on the schedule that we've created is, to me, a little bit more important than making sure you like went through the full nitty gritty of fully preparing the information. We have a decent outline of what our goal is for the podcast and getting information out there. So I think it's okay that we kind of just like, all right.
And we have ideas for future ones too. We've just never fully planned the future ones. But now I think we're getting to where we need to. Like,
I think, and
like being episode 12, and we've planned maybe 50% of these, and I think some of the ones we haven't planned, maybe some of my favorite ones, just because we say the dumbest things.
I think so, and I even think like for us and for a lot of people out there, I'm sure they're the same way, that it doesn't need to be a long plan. Like sometimes we'll think of a topic the night before, and we just think about it the next day as we're going through our day. We record it, but like it's on our mind of processing. Today's a little bit different, so we'll see how that goes. But I think when you get into like that rhythm and you know who you are as like a creator, which I don't even know if we fully know exactly, but we know what our goal is. So we're just doing things to get to that point.
I mean, if I had to pinpoint our gimmick, it's literally like say whatever's on your mind.
Yeah.
Which is usually the dumbest thing possible.
Yeah. Well,
and I mean, we've made friends that way. We've kept friends that way.
And
So
I think we've created an awesome community with just saying what we want to say, but
yeah,
also just like making sure that everyone can say what they want to say. It's
for
not just
sure.
us saying what we want to say. Like anyone who's a part of our community could say what they feel like saying,
Yeah,
and that's just the space that we have.
yeah,
So, but I think we got that. We got it going well.
yeah. I
So
do want to get into planning content. I think there was maybe a month or two back where I got really good at putting out content and then fell off, and like it gets like really good. Like we know the waves, but
yeah,
it's the like, oh, content's easy, and then
yeah,
it's like life is crazy, and then like
yeah.
it's the ebb and
Because
the
it's
flows.
funny even with talking yesterday and today and like going over stuff. I think we thought of what 2 or 3 good topics
Hmm.
that we knew we couldn't just pull off today.
We
Like
knew we could. It's just it wouldn't be the
it
best
wouldn't.
shot.
Yeah. So
Whereas what we're talking
you
about
know what?
now, we could talk
Like
about whatever. Sure. Does this
now
make sense for everybody? I don't know. Tell
everyone's
us
a,
your thoughts.
everyone's a little different. Yeah. Tell us what works for you as a content creator if you're watching this. Like how to prepare for your
Yeah.
podcast or your Twitch streams or
Even
recording
just
for a YouTube video
putting
or
out clips and stuff like that. Like, how do you feel most prepared? I guess.
TikTok and Instagram. That's all I'm saying. Like people like it takes work. Like
Yeah.
I mean, you do 99% of our social media.
Yeah, and I got to get better at
I take the work you do and I post it on X.
it.
You text it to me and then I just post it on X.
Valid.
But that takes time.
Yeah.
Like that takes time, and it's like we don't do the craziest and most in-depth things that a lot of people do, and I'm sure that takes you a few minutes.
And I think we will get there. We when once we figure out a good algorithm for ourselves, I think it will get there.
Yeah,
I think we have moments where like, oh, this is really good. Thankfully, we have a really great mod who does clips for us, and then
yeah,
I can kind of make it from there. It's just now I need to figure out the best way to do it, and that's kind of where you kind of define the brand. I think where
yeah,
we're idiots. That's our
yeah. That's
brand.
our
But
brand.
then the social media is like, how do you put the best of your dumbness out there for
Out there for
people
people to see, like
to be like, this
what's
is the right kind of dumb,
what's
not the
the
dumb
best
kind
dumb
of
to
dumb.
post. You
Exactly.
know, like
What dumb can I tolerate? That's what we're kind
um,
of like. Because I can post a bunch of things where it's just me saying something that only I laugh at, which is why I appreciate our mod because if he thinks it's funny, odds are we think it's funny.
yeah,
So that's at least three people that understand the
understand
joke.
it.
Whereas me, on the other hand, if I
There's
think it's funny, I'm gonna say it and I'm
I
gonna
mean,
put it out
there's
there.
moments that we've even like I've said stuff and you're just like, wow, that's so stupid. Like that's not even funny. That's just stupid. I'm like
But
cracking
it's
up. You
funny.
know?
But it's still funny. Like I think it's now that there are three people involved. Oh my god, excuse me.
Yeah, me too.
So here's the thing.
Dying,
At work we're
dying
doing
right
like a
now.
water challenge, and I drank so much water today. And by so much water, I mean like I don't know, 80 ounces. It's not a ton, but it's a lot more than I would normally drink.
I think I had a bottle of water,
Well, I'm
and
trying to get
and
good.
now I'm drinking a soda.
Perfect. But yeah, so that's where we're at with life. Speaking of life, that's a terrible segue. We're gonna talk about SFC, which we talked about earlier. Um, so we had SFC, which was our charity event on March 16th, which was a Saturday, and we got to hang out with a bunch of other streamer friends. Reviews from the Tub,
Miss
Miss Gator,
Gator,
Lucy,
Fabled
Fabled
Foodies.
Foodies, and MGS was there in spirit. Um, we got to do a co-stream with them as well, with Lucy and I'm sorry, with Miss Gator and MGS. We want to try to do another one. Currently, we're at what, $1,200 raised,
Yep,
or
we're just underneath it right now, which
just
is
under
awesome.
1,200. So I mean, like we said before, the event, we're very happy with the event, but I think because because it was, even though we planned it a year in advance, it was kind of rushed. So we're like, we
Yeah,
know what we can do better, and that's exactly what we're gonna do. We've already started planning for SFC 3.
and like
So
I want to give credit to us and saying that it was still a success.
so
That wasn't,
that was not a success.
but
So thankfully, if you're listening to just the audio, you have no idea what just happened.
if you're listening to this on Spotify, Danny is clicking buttons and changing the scenes.
So here's the problem.
So
I wanted to move the mouse because I didn't like where it was, but the problem is it's wireless, and you click it, and it went right on the blank screen. So
so
people on YouTube,
it
if you're
threw us
paying
off.
attention, You didn't just have a really long blink. I actually clicked something. My
Um,
bad.
but I think it was still a success. I'm so
Sure.
grateful for the team that
Yes.
and like the family
Yeah.
of streamers that have come together for this. And most importantly, I think across social media platforms, what's the biggest success to me is that we created a ton of awareness for charity gaming.
And a relationship with them.
Yeah, and
I'm gonna put this out there right now. I don't even think I've told you this. Maybe I did, maybe I didn't. But I'm gonna put this out into the world because I want it to happen. Next year, I would love to get somebody from Charity for Gaming to come to us.
yeah, we
And
talked about it.
and I would love to build a relationship with the video game store, the Game Zone, and they can come in, and whether they donate something to them or we all chip in and pay for something and at a discounted price, and it's like a huge
And
donation,
give a
we give it,
tangible
yes,
item
directly to
to
them.
charity
I
gaming right
want
there.
that to happen so bad.
I think
I
that
want to
would be
work
awesome.
towards that. And I think we have a really, they've liked a lot of our posts. They followed us.
They
They watched
shared,
they watched both SFCs.
they watched the streams, they
So
chatted in the streams. Like I think that's huge that
it'll be
they
really cool. I want that.
that as an organization as big as they have become, still appreciate everyone that's doing something for them and the amount of knowledge that has gone out and stuff like that.
Yeah,
So I think to me that alone makes it a success of just
yeah,
bringing that awareness,
for sure.
or that acknowledgement of who this organization is and what they do and how they give kids, that are sick in hospitals and recovering from terminal things, like video games as a good outlet and like a good,
Yeah,
just help them get through life in a tough time. And I think that that's awesome. So I think huge success. We've already had what, 3 or 4 different conversations with other streamers about SFC3.
yeah.
We've I've
Pretty
had
much everyone that was there in 1 and 2 want to come back for 3, and we've had multiple conversations
I've
with
had conversations
2.
with 2 other streamers.
I've had, okay, so I don't know if we're kind of the same guy, but at least 3. Yes, at least 3, I think.
Um, Midwest and the South.
Yes, South. No, he's Midwest.
So 2 streamers that heard about it the week of, and one
Yeah.
of them almost drove over.
Mm-hmm.
Like the event was on a Saturday. He found out about the event on the Wednesday before, I believe it was,
Mm-hmm.
and he was like, "Oh man, I just picked up a shift for work on Saturday, or else I would have driven over. I wish
Yeah.
I would have like paid attention last week when you were talking about it." And like then he followed us on Twitch,
Yeah.
Instagram, X, and reached out and was like, "So next year, I'm not kidding."
Sold.
And I was like,
Let's
"Sold,
do it.
you're coming."
Let's
Like
do
that's
it.
it, easy.
Just
You
not
know?
even to not even to grow community, but just to grow friendships. And yeah, to bring more awareness to this. I think it'd be really cool. I don't have a sick kid, thankfully. But I know if that when I don't feel well, video games make me feel great.
Yeah.
And I've never been bedridden or in a hospital. So yeah, I want that. I want that so bad. So that's our goal for SFC 3 or SFC 2025. I don't even know what we're calling it. I like the 3. I like the numbers. We'll go with the UFC theme where they just kind of number them.
Just keep numbering them until there's too many numbers.
Yeah, and then it's just
And then
a
it's
lot.
just
SFC again. That's it.
and then we'll just put like the event and
Yeah.
just rebrand it as that.
Totally.
And then
After
it'll be
you
the
hit
event
triple
1,
digis, I guess.
and then it'll be the event 1.
Yeah. The first event, the second,
Yeah.
second annual SFC event. But also that's been our life. Speaking of life, this is gonna be one terrible segue to another.
I love how
yeah.
we used the life segue already.
Yeah, and I'm
then
gonna
we
use it
went
again.
back to SFC. How
Yeah.
was your week?
It was great. We went to Florida. So from where we live in New Jersey, it is about 16 hours to drive from where we live to Orlando, Florida.
Yeah.
When we left on Sunday night at 7:30 p.m., it was like, it's going to take you 16 hours. So we're like, no problem. We got there in 16 hours and 45 minutes with 3 stops, which is insane. We've never hit that much good time. Like,
Yeah.
usually there's rain, there's traffic, there's
I was gonna say,
construction.
but I
Usually
think
one of the stops is longer than the others, like for gas. But this one, we killed it on the way down.
Lizette, if I remember correctly, Lizette said going down, you guys had good weather though. Like it was
Great
clear,
weather.
and there was like no traffic or
Way
construction and
back
stuff.
up, we hit no traffic either.
And then
16:45.
You did awesome time coming
Great
back.
time. This one was for the books.
Which I think that's great because that's a super long drive and exhausting to
Yeah,
begin
with two kids.
So
And we're not driving like 100 miles an hour.
No.
The quickest I'm going is 9 miles over the speed limit.
Yeah.
Just because if they pull you over, that's like they can get you. But that 10 number is where they can really get you, where it like lapses. So I'm willing to pay the 9. But usually I'm usually going slower than the flow of traffic because people are lunatics on 95.
Well, dude, in everywhere. I went down to Tom's River on Saturday.
Mhm.
I'm going. There's parts of the parkway where the speed limit is still 45. So, did you not know this?
I don't think the parkway took 95 down.
No, but you've driven the parkway.
We haven't driven the parkway in a while.
You've driven on the parkway.
I have driven on the parkway once in my life, at least. At least once.
So there is a 20, 30-mile strip past the Union Toll where the speed limit is 45.
I'm going to tell you right now, I've never driven 45 on that road.
Me neither.
Oh, that's because, okay, yeah, that's stupid.
It doesn't matter, though. It doesn't matter.
No.
It's not happening.
Nobody's doing 45.
The speed limit most of the way is 65.
I think 55. 55 is the average on the parkway, I believe.
I was doing 80.
That's crazy.
I was in the right lane, and people were flying by me the whole way down.
Yeah, people are crazy.
The whole way down. Like, I'm, like, not trying to do 80 because it was also windy.
Yes.
Very windy. And random rain. Just sporadic.
Yeah.
It was
Your
almost
weather
like
was not
what
that
I
great.
what I would refer to as like Florida rain, where
Sure.
it was like raining on across the street but not here.
Yeah.
You know, like it was like that. So it was like every once in a while you just all of a sudden just like a really big sneeze just happened.
Yeah.
And so I'm like not trying to fly, but I was also just not trying to get rear-ended by everyone doing 100 mile an hour behind me. Like it was ridiculous. But it was fine. We survived.
Yeah. But so my trip to Florida was actually really good. We went to 3 of the parks. We went to Animal Kingdom, Epcot, and Hollywood Studios. And let me tell you, Hollywood Studios might be my favorite park.
Yes.
And I love Magic Kingdom, but there's something special about Hollywood, especially since Star Wars. Animal Kingdom is my least favorite. The dog's freaking out.
Yeah, I'm trying to ignore it. It wasn't working.
Yeah, no, it doesn't work. That being said about Animal Kingdom,
I've never been.
they do have 2 pretty good rides.
Yeah.
They have that stupid Flight of Passage Avatar ride,
Okay.
which, let me tell you,
Is it
also,
stupid because it's Avatar?
I am not a fan of the Avatar. I am a fan of the Avatar. Avatar, like
the Airbender.
Airbender, Last Airbender. Not a fan of Dances with Smurfs. I don't care. I don't like it.
Okay.
So
Just wanted to make sure.
I'm not a fan, but I did go on both of their rides. I went on the Flight of Passage, this one, which was like their bigger one. We waited in line for 3 hours with a 7-year-old and a 5-year-old. Thank the Lord my children are great because I saw lots of other kids losing their freaking minds and their parents about to like friggin' yeet them across all the lanes.
That's rough. That's rough.
Not only was it rough, but you're sitting in this world, which is... Have you seen Avatar?
Both of them.
You've seen it at night where they use like black lights and
Yeah.
It's pretty.
Mm-hmm.
For 3 minutes, not 3 hours. Also, I don't need to hear this bird chirping and this bugging, whatever the frick bug sounds make.
But you're in the woods.
For 3 hours, that's all you hear.
Yeah.
There's nothing moving other than a very slow line. And then you finally get into this is one of the worst ones where they usually do the loops.
Mhm.
Like they put you in the chain and then they funnel you and then the chain and they funnel you. This was the worst one to where...
Is it like a cart ride or like a harness? Like,
have you ever rode Soarin' in Epcot?
yes.
It's like that,
Okay.
but better.
Okay.
So the whole thing is you sit on like a banshee, which
Mhm.
is like that stupid flying thing, but you're flying through the world, and it is incredible. It actually feels really good. Um, I had the little one next to me and the big one next to me, and I was nervous because they've never ridden a ride like this before. They've done Soarin', but this was a lot more intense.
Yeah.
So you
Is it
sit
like a little
there,
bit more like open kind of than Soren? Like
kind of,
okay.
but like you're also like in a chair that pushes you like in the
Mm-hmm.
back, so you're squeezed in.
Yeah.
So the little one is like, it's like squeezed her up to here. I'm like, oh no, but she was losing it.
Yeah.
Like it was so much fun. They had one part where like you go into like their water and this huge fish comes up and it looks like it's about to fall on you because it's also 3D glasses. And then they shoot water at you and she's just like, ah! Like having the time of her life. I'm like, all right, this ride was fun, but it's not 3 hour wait fun. If I go again, I'll pay for like a lightning pass.
Yeah, yeah.
But those 4 minutes was worth it just to watch them have fun.
Yeah.
But other than that, I give two butts about it. The expedition to Everest, I don't know if you've obviously never done that one either. That ride is incredible.
Okay.
It's the girl's first real deal roller coaster. It starts out, also, it was pouring rain. And we rushed to get onto the ride. They sprinted everyone to get on, and then as we get off, we're walking, and they like had a line like they shut down the ride.
Wow.
And so the guy's like, he's like, oh yeah, they shut it down. He's like, don't worry, it's not for the weather. And I'm like, it better be for the weather. I just rode it. Like, what do you mean they're putting people's lives in danger? But it was great. It's like a really like chill roller coaster, and then gets to a part where like you go up, and like their gimmick is like a Yeti broke the roller coaster, so you see like broken tracks, and then you go backwards and you go into like this mountain, and you see a silhouette of a Yeti breaking a track. So you have to like, it's just so
It's fun.
good, dude. It's
Okay.
like if you go to Animal Kingdom, it's just for those two rides. That's it. That's it.
The next time I go down to Florida, even if it's like not with Disney in mind, I want to go to Animal Kingdom because I haven't been.
To me, it's
But I also like animals and outdoor things, which I mean, you were annoyed with the sounds of bugs and black lights. So
for 3 hours.
I mean, you go outside and throw on a black light.
But there's other things happening.
Not at,
Here's
like,
the
2
thing:
o'clock in
you
the
go on a
morning.
Star Wars ride. I waited 2 hours for a Star Wars ride. That one wasn't different. That one was different because you're standing there and they have a guy talking about a machine, and then the machine explodes. 15 minutes later, there's another skit going on. 15 minutes, there like every 15 minutes, there's something different. It's not just. I don't care. I don't care about that. I don't care about that dumb bird. It means nothing to me. Meanwhile, the people in front of me are like, "Oh, take our picture. Yeah, this is beautiful." I'm like, I wish I cared enough, half as
But
much as you
also,
did.
I'm gonna get it for saying this.
Okay.
You like Star Wars. I don't
That
care
I
what,
understand.
I don't care what they're doing every 15 minutes. The way you felt in the Avatar wait, I would feel in Star Wars.
It's not it's not even if I like it. It is the change of pace. Standing in one spot for 3 hours. Yes, I'm walking slowly across the same thing.
Yes.
You can stare at something, even like a freaking YouTube video. Every 15 minutes, they're gonna have a shooting star come across the screen. There's no shooting star in Avatar. There's no nothing. It's the same sounds. You know what I mean? You need a little something.
But
I
I hear what you're saying.
I'm right.
I hear what you're saying.
I took into account what you said. You're wrong. Nope, that's it.
I hear what you're saying. I'm just saying that, like, I don't know. I would be perfectly fine with the same thing for 3 hours.
Nope.
And there
But
could be something every 5 minutes in Star Wars if I had to wait on that ride on that line for 3 hours. I'd be like, this is how I die.
what's funny is like
Specifically because of Star Wars things happening for 3 hours.
we go. It's not even like the most Star Wars things. Like it's not like it's Obi-Wan Kenobi talking. It's like some weirdo who's just like
Still.
a meaningless guy. But still better than the owl that's just whatever owls do, hooting.
Hoot.
So much so that we rode Avatar. We get off. The big one goes, "Why is this ride in Animal Kingdom?" I go, "Nobody knows." Because it doesn't make sense for the park. But I must say, Animal Kingdom is the least Disney of the parks, which doesn't make sense. If I'm going to Africa, which basically it's the way they have Animal Kingdom is like Africa, Asia,
Okay.
Dino Land. Because sure.
Animals.
Sure. But when I go into Africa, I should see Lion King or something. When I go into Asia, let me see Jungle Book You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah, yeah.
None of those
None of
things
those.
exist there.
It's just animals.
It's just animals. Like I feel like you capitalize on it, but on the other side, maybe they're like, you can do that in Epcot. You
Yeah,
go to
but I was gonna
Morocco and
say,
Epcot or wherever,
I was gonna say, like, I guess in like Disney's defense on that is that like it'll just be a repeat of other things, but with more animals.
but also you have those animals.
Yeah, but
Why
you
make movies?
no,
I understand
but
why they kind of did it, but I
but like the
also
other parks were first,
so
so it was already there, and then you
so
know what I mean. Like now, their Avatar makes sense in Animal Kingdom because it takes place in the woods,
no, doesn't.
and that's also like
It's a whole different world. Avatar, Pandora is a different world. It's not even a real world, is it? Isn't a world where you like Matrix in?
yeah,
So it's not even a real world. That belongs in Epcot then. Epcot, the experimental project of the future. Whatever the
but it's
phrase
also
means.
not like Disney. So
Why is there more Disney? No, it is Avatar. 100% is not Disney.
yeah, so like throw it in the not Disney park.
I just
It's like
think
Disney has its own bootleg park in its Animal Kingdom. That's how
I
I look at it.
I
Like
just think
they're like before
it could be
someone does a
better.
bootleg park, we're doing it ourselves.
Though
Like,
two of those rides are some of the best rides in Disney. Anyway,
can you pet the tigers?
no.
All right, then I don't want to go anymore.
We saw sea otters. We saw you can see some close like sea otters, hippos, kangaroos, flamingos. The safari is actually really good. The
Yeah.
safari is dope. Um, but yeah, Hollywood is by far, I think, my favorite park. Probably
I love Hollywood Studios. So
that and Magic Kingdom might be tied. But honestly, I don't know. And okay, so here's another thing. Outside of Animal Kingdom, they had a little bit of like Encanto with
Mhm.
like Lewis, and you know how like he talks to the
Yeah.
animals. That is perfect. That should be in the park.
that should
It's
be.
just
I
a
agree.
poster. It's just a poster
I
where you
agree.
take a picture in the park. Put that in the park.
I agree.
And I know the movie just came out on like park terms, but
Great movie.
freaking do it. Just put it in Animal Kingdom. That's it.
Yeah, but maybe that's their way of saying, hey,
Maybe that's their segue. Like, let's see how many people take
let's see
pictures.
how many people like
That's it.
this poster.
Yeah,
and then we'll
that's-
make it bigger.
It's just me. That's my bone to pick.
Next time you go, it'll be a billboard of Encanto
Yeah,
inside
that's
the
fine.
park.
That's fine. That's fine. Anyway, speaking of life, how was your week?
Not as exciting as that. That's for sure. It wasn't terrible, but I was watching your dog.
Yeah, the one back there
Yeah,
licking
the
her
Demogorgon
cone.
back
Yeah.
there. And I had really high hopes. So like unlike every other time you've gone away, even from when I lived here, night one is usually the worst.
Okay.
So it's usually night one's really bad. Night two, she accepted the fact that she's stuck with me.
Yep.
And then it's just a slow back downgrade from there.
Sure.
So like night two is usually the best night.
Okay.
Night one, she was actually really good. I was like, do I have high hopes for this? Like, is she gonna be well behaved?
She finally used to be.
Like, is she gonna be well behaved all week? And even Haley was like when we woke up in the morning, she was like, the dog was pretty good. I was like, yeah, it was weird. We slept. Like,
Yeah.
I was not expecting that. Increasingly got worse.
well, you also
The
had an
rest-
earthquake to deal with.
So-
I think that messed her up too.
So the earthquake was, I think,
it was Friday. It was Friday.
yeah. So that's sort of the end of the week. No, I don't remember what it was like Tuesday. I think Tuesday was like windy or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that was the day where she was kind of like locked up the most
Okay.
because I was in and out a lot, and that was my longer work day and whatever. So, dude, I walked around the block like 3 times, and she
Jeez.
still just had energy.
Yeah.
Which I was happy she had energy.
Because she's been sick and she doesn't have energy lately.
I was happy, like
but-
I was excited to see she had energy,
Yeah.
but also like I'm really allergic to your dog, not other dogs, just yours apparently.
She's allergic to everything, so you and her are
But then I
perfect.
learned that it's also all of the ointments and medicine and shampoos that I have to use. Like,
Oh yeah, I do these things daily.
so I literally just walked around the house with an inhaler, and I used it so many times.
Yeah.
I think I took Benadryl 6 times this week. Like, by the time Saturday came around,
You've built up an immunity to Benadryl.
I honestly, I was just like, I don't know how I'm functioning right now. Like, I went to pick up my parents, and my mom just looks at me, and she's like, "Are you okay?" And I was like, "I'm alive. I've made it." Like I made it. Like I did it.
She was actually really good for me last night though, so
And
I
then it
was
was,
nervous.
and then it was like, but it was also like I took advantage. So like my apartment, it's hard for me to bake
Hmm.
because we've gone over that. But like I took advantage, like did some baking and cooking and like all that stuff. And because of the dog, it was more of my excuse, even at work, like make sure I got home on time.
Yeah.
Because I was like, no, this dog's nuts. I'm like, she's a pain.
Nobody understands.
Like she's a pain as it is. I'm not leaving her locked up any longer because
Yeah.
she's just gonna be worse later into the evening. Like I need to go. So she was my excuse to get out of work on time.
She's a
like,
very
always.
special dog. She's also the best dog. She's the best, worst dog.
But I think she did well.
She looks good.
She looks good. I think she got her tail pretty good. I think on Tuesday night.
Yeah.
And I yelled at her, like I actually yelled at her, and then she stopped scratching and like doing things for like a while. And I was like, good.
Yeah, she felt ashamed.
Because I literally
I'm so
yelled
ashamed.
at her. And I was like, this is why I keep having to stop you every time. Because this. And I like cleaning like the blood off her tail. I was like, this is it. This is like, I was like showing her the napkin. I was like,
Yeah.
like this is what you did to yourself. And she was like,
She doesn't care. She's like,
just,
it felt good.
I think she just laid there like this for like 3 hours. So
Yeah.
I was like, but it was good. So I like the fact that I got to do like a lot of extra cooking or like different cooking that I can't really do at home, like frying and things like that. And I took the time to like bake some stuff. I made funnel cake, which was so good. I made donuts, made Boston cream donuts. I ate like half of them because it took forever to make. So like Haley actually fell asleep, and by
Is it the donut that took a while, or like the whole like
making the
filling
custard,
them?
making the donut, like
That sounds like a disaster. I don't want that.
But it was my first time ever doing it, so I did enjoy the process of doing it to learn.
I don't think I would like that.
Like cooking.
How do you make custard? What is custard?
Good
talk.
I don't know how to.
You know what I want? I want creme brulee. Make me some creme brulee, dog. That's custard, right?
Yeah, it is.
It's just custard
yeah.
and burn that top. Ooh.
Yeah. Because I made the custard.
My sister sent me what was it? What did she send me? What were we just talking about?
Creme brulee.
A creme brulee cupcake. But I guess like the whole thing was custard and like, but you still had to break the frosting. Ooh.
I had.
Oh, it's my wife.
On Easter Sunday, we went to a restaurant over in Montclair.
Mm-hmm.
Faubourg, something like that. I don't know. It's a French American cuisine style thing.
Oui, oui.
But I had an espresso creme brulee.
Oh,
bro, that like coffee custard. I want it every day.
Nice.
Every day. Like, that's what I want as a cup of coffee in the morning. Is a espresso creme brulee, bro. It was so good.
The last creme brulee I had, I think it was over at Sam's.
Oh, right here on the corner?
Yeah, they did like a gingerbread one for Christmas. It's pretty good. It's pretty good.
But man, I love a good creme brulee.
Creme brulee is chef's kiss. So good.
I
I don't know. Do you have any more life updates?
I hate that statement.
I love it, and I love that people say it, and my children say it now. You're welcome. I'm raising great children to becoming adults. You're welcome.
I love the concern of the little one when she got home.
Mm-hmm.
And she like ran upstairs to the couch and she was like, Auntie, hey, Theo, were you here all by yourself? Did Auntie Haley come with you? I was like, yeah, she just went home like an hour ago. She was like, okay, you didn't watch Picky by yourself, right? Like, she stayed with you, right? Like, she was like so concerned that I was alone.
Yeah.
And then I left my wife alone. I was like, no, she was with me all week.
She's a very
like,
good.
She's like, okay, good. She's like, you guys have to be together. It was like so adorable. I was just like, oh my god, you're so freaking cute. When it punch you.
They're
like,
both very, well, kind of caring. One is more caring than the other, but they both have become
decide.
They both have become very funny.
Yeah.
They both have a very good sense of humor. We did laugh a lot on the trip, and like now I can make jokes, like even backhanded jokes, and the big one gets it.
Yeah.
She just gets them, and I'm like,
oh, she gets them.
that's
yeah.
good. Like you got a good sense of humor, kid. So that's good. I can't wait to. I mean, I can't wait till they get older, but I can't wait to really see how much more of it they gather.
Yeah.
So
as for life updates, I don't think I got anything.
yeah, I don't think I just like playing with this. This is really fun.
I think we have a good lineup for some podcasts.
Yeah.
and we're gonna keep building on that.
So what
I
we're
think we're
gonna
gonna
do?
listen to ourselves from the beginning of the podcast and
Yeah.
properly start planning things and listen to the critiques we gave ourselves.
So we've talked about this before. I'm gonna put this out into the universe as well because you guys can hold us accountable. We want to do like a review podcast where we watch a movie or something. We actually talked about it in one of the other ones. We've talked about it again. So I don't know. Like, what do you think is better? Like watching an old movie. Maybe we say, "Hey guys, we're gonna watch this movie. Watch it with us. We'll talk about it in 2 weeks." We could do something like that, especially if it's not like Netflix or like a streaming service. I started watching a bunch of like those horror shorts on YouTube.
Okay.
Um, some of them are really good. I watched 2 today on my lunch break, mostly because I was afraid of one that I couldn't watch at nighttime, and I was like, if I get scared of this 15-minute short, I'm gonna be upset.
I was gonna do a
Um,
hot take and put another twist on this, but I'm just gonna keep my mouth shut so you don't hate me.
oh, good. I'm glad you've learned the drill thus far. I can't wait to end this podcast and you'll be like, yeah, so this is what we're gonna do. I'm like, I'm so glad you didn't say that. That's exactly what's gonna happen.
Yep.
Yep. Great. So, guys,
But
yeah, go ahead.
let us know, old, new movie.
Any movie.
Let us know if you're a
Show.
creative-
We could do
show. Ooh. Let us know if you're a creator. You know, how do you prep for your streams and podcasts and things like that, and the time you put behind it and the work you put behind it. And then also let us know how your life has been.
Yeah.
We'd love to hear it.
We
Mm.
would. If it, as we said before, if there ever a place, it's safe here.
Yeah.
We are busy people that just, I think at this point we like to hear ourselves talk. I've listened, the girls have asked to listen to our podcast now that it's on Spotify, so they love it.
Very convenient that they're on Spotify.
So convenient. So I'm gonna continue getting them on there. It's a little more of a chore for me, but I'm gonna try and have both of them up by this one. We also have a lost podcast that I gotta put up. I never put up part 2 of episode 10.
I know.
So
I was actually listening to that and I was just like, it's literally missing the ending.
it's missing the ending. So we'll do the lost podcast. But we'll put that out there. But yeah, like, follow, subscribe, share, all those things. Follow us on YouTube, Twitter, X, Instagram, Twitch, TikTok, Spotify, all the things now.
All the things now. We're pretty official.
We're there. We just got to get good at one of them. I just don't know which one is gonna take.
And yeah, that's all I got.
Yeah. So guys, thank you so much for taking time out of your day or days. I don't know how you listen to podcasts. But yeah, we will be streaming. We stream every Sunday, usually every Thursday as well. And podcast every other Wednesday. Hoping to bump one of those up a little bit.
Yep.
We'll see which ones. Let us know which ones you prefer. With that being said, guys, thank you so much. Have a good night. Stay safe. And as always,
We love you.